Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Devo. I'm a former Hearthstone Legend Top 1000 player that's made the transition over to Riftbound. This is my first run at playing a physical card game, and I wanted to make this channel documenting my journey, playing, opening, and just generally enjoying the hobby. This is also the first ever box I've broken into, and I wanted to record it in case a few people wanted to come along with me. As a quick note, I'm giving away a few of the cards from this week's openings that I don't need for my collection. I'll explain how that works a little later, but let's get into the packs. So this is actually a Wave 2 box. I got into the game about a few days after it launched, but unfortunately the pre-release went kind of under my radar on it. This is the first pack from the box here. Somebody actually pointed out in a video that I posted that this is actually a double Ember Monk box. There's the first pack. There's the first one, and the second one will hit here. Went completely unnoticed by me while I was uploading it. And there's a Yasuo. Yasuo was one of the first decks I built. I was really looking for some budget options, as all I was able to get my hands on at first was a Victor Precon that I upgraded with singles, which is still kind of what I play competitively to this day. It's still pretty strong. Yasuo was the second one I made because the singles were relatively affordable and obtainable, and built the deck to have some fun with. I've used it in multiplayer a little bit, and I really enjoy FFA, but I've kind of shifted my focus to Teemo a bit more now for the FFA games. Although I'm starting to take a much larger look at Yasuo again. He seems to have gained some popularity in the last week or two. So from this pack, Thermo Beam's really good. We see a Void Seeker here and a Sabotage. All new cards to me. But there's Promising Future. That is a wonderful FFA card. So that's kind of what I built my Teemo deck around for FFA. I'm definitely open to posting a video if anybody is interested in that. This Teemo deck that I've built is obviously blue-purple, and it kind of focuses around using Promising Future, which in an FFA game has everybody kind of look at 5 cards from the top of their deck, reveal them, choose one to play without energy, without worrying about energy costs, only playing the power cost on it, and kind of playing it immediately. The deck focuses around very big units and kind of fishing out cheap nocturnes and like stacking up on a battlefield and like scooping some quick wins with Ride the Wind. It's been incredibly effective, and more so than that, just a complete amount of chaos and a fun deck to mess around with. Here from this pack, we have the Leona and the White Flame Protector. I was very excited about seeing this card. I don't really have enough cards to put it in any sort of meaningful deck right now. I don't really have much in the way of green or orange. Most of what I have been focusing around is kind of the Victor. I have a smattering of red cards. You saw the Vayne pop up earlier. Honestly, this ended up being a really good week of pack openings from this box. I've heard there's some differences between the boxes that went out on Wave 1 and Wave 2. They're both relatively balanced to the case, so 6 boxes. But I've heard that in each individual box, there's some more randomness than there used to be. So in Wave 1, everything was pretty standardized. You'd kind of get 1 Dead Bloom and maybe 1 Kaisa, like the Survivor one, in a case. But nowadays you can see the Last Breath hit there, and these are all just kind of off the top. There can be good boxes and bad boxes from what I've heard. I've watched people open them, and some of them were kind of duds, and other ones have a lot more hits in them. So I've heard the rumor is, although it hasn't been substantiated in any way, that the hits are a little more randomized, so you can kind of get a little luckier this time around on it, which is nice, and I've been a little fortunate here. Noxus Hopeful, Mega Mech. Mega Mech is actually a big feature in the FFA Teemo deck that I have. Noxus Hopeful plays very strongly in Kaisa. As most people have probably realized now, Hidden Blade is an absolute staple in the Victor decks. Fading Memories I haven't figured out a good use for yet. Imperial Decree is wonderful in the Victor decks. Actually play them more than Grand Stratagem sometimes. And there's Victor Innovator, who is kind of the big set piece of the Spirit Forged Victor deck. A lot of the comps are playing him rather than playing Victor Leader, which is currently the meta in set 1. Because it focuses a lot more on not really playing any units, all token generation, and then playing spells on your opponent's turn, which Victor Innovator, the blue Victor, allows you to kind of create these tokens that you can then crash in using things like Imperial Decree and take battlefields and kind of steal wins from the ever-present Draven or Irelia on this. Shipyard Skulkers popping up here. Trifarian Glory Seeker. Treasure Trove, which I've seen played. There's an interesting combo with some gear that I've seen played. Not too much success, but it is there. And then Last Stand and Draven. All right, so before we wrap up, I want to give a few of the cards from some of the recent openings. Product has still been somewhat limited, and I want to support those who jumped in early. If you want to enter, just be subscribed, like, and leave a comment on this video. I'll randomly choose someone and pin the winner in the comments next week. Thanks.